Please welcome from Puerto Rico, Adriana DIAZ. And from China, the world number 5, KUAI.
Well, here comes China's KUAI, world number 5, looking very calm indeed as she makes her way out under the spotlights here inside the Maverick Arena, taking on Puerto Rico's Adriana DIAZ. And this is a second round match, but this is a match we might like to see in the latter stages of a tournament. It's a mouth-watering clash indeed, this first ever WTT meeting between these two really exciting players. Well, that is Adriana DIAZ. We saw her in action yesterday playing the women's doubles. Entertaining play indeed, and that's how they match up. The world number 20 versus the world number 5. Well, Adriana DIAZ, as you see there, has a world high ranking of 9. She has been up there, thereabouts. She can challenge the best of them. But this is a first meeting between them, and this is anyone's game in this round of 32. Well, we welcome back David Gallego, our umpire. He oversaw the opening match of the session in day 3, and he's back in the chair for this one. He's been a busy man in Las Vegas.
Oh, yes. I have red and black. Red, Adriana. It's black, you win. Service, side.
Coin toss complete, and KUAI looks focused and ready. Adam Barbro, these are two players we love to watch, don't we? And this is just a second round meeting, but it's maybe one we'd like to see in the later stages of an event.
Yeah, I feel this way all the time watching my friends compete out here. Some of these players are so entertaining that you just wish they could all be in it for a long time, but it's not the nature of this competitive world. Single elimination from the start. A tough match indeed, but it is the second round after all. The pride of Puerto Rico at 24 years old, Adriana DIAZ, full of swag, has played the Chinese Super League, has played T-League in Japan, has played India. She's a US Open champion at 16 years old. She's been all over the world. And she's got feeling, she's got swag, she's got speed, she's got good serves and that backhand punch. But on the other side of the table, she's got a very bright, shining star for the next generation to follow, Generation Xia and Wang Manyu for Team China. It's 21-year-old KUAI, 5 titles to her name already at 21 years old. 6 years a pro. This is very tough considering who's in front of her in the world rankings.
Absolutely, and there's a look at the achievements of KUAI. That is quite the resume that she has. She took the Singapore Smash title earlier this year, so can she get another? Really impressive stuff indeed. Sorry, she reached the final, beaten finalist, but she was the champion, at least star contender in Doha in January. She is confident of a deep run, and as you said, Adam, that is not something that many can be confident of, especially when you consider who's ahead of her in the rankings, not least her teammates Sun Yingxia, Wang Manyu, but she is hot on their heels.
Yeah, KUAI has incredible power. She's so fast, good to turn the corner. Sometimes you look at someone and you think just based on build, you have a sense of their game. KUAI is incredibly fast. She's got a lot to play for. Remember, these players already at 90 world ranking points in this event, and it's near double that if they get to the round of 16, looking for that 2,000 points as a champion. $1.55 million in prize money and some of the best equipment in the world to support these players at this Grand Smash, the first ever United States Smash. Hey, Angie Tan, Emily Tan, the Tan sisters from the United States. All right. And coaches from the Bay Area all around. ICC, nice 82% behind the Chinese athlete KUAI, the other 18 with Puerto Rico. I wish them good luck at the World University Games.
DIAZ versus KUAI. Fair games, KUAI to serve, love all.
So best of 5 battle. KUAI will start it off, love all.
Let, love all. One, love.
Some tricky serving from KUAI Man.
Yeah, classic bottle challenge, deep to the backhand. It's good for a lefty versus a righty.
Love 2.
Now, what can we expect in this first meeting between this pair?
Well, I think you're going to see a lot of speed play, just occasional long serves from KUAI Man. Adriana, I think, will mix it up more. There you go, long serves. Just going to say that I think Adriana, in general, will serve long more often than her opponent. Near the baseline, deep to the forehand to shut down a backhand attack.
3-1.
And also you're going to see Adriana taking shots that are a little bit out of her comfort zone, trying to stay close, initiate with the attack. She's good behind the table, but she knows against KUAI Man her chances go way down as she backs up.
That's one of the reasons we love to watch her, because she's so versatile, she's dynamic, she's unpredictable, she's fun.
Yeah, these are all the words, the adjectives that would apply to her. Or at least all of those words do apply to her, many other positive ones. Look at this, the backhand punch to set up a little higher ball and then crushing finish with the forehand. She's got power when she needs it. But again, this unconventional backhand that's a bit more of a flat hit, the punch, the Puerto Rican punch. Stop by Utuado when you get a chance and learn it. Some beautiful recoveries here from KUAI Man. Adriana DIAZ had a few nets in there, the team doctor for China, with Dr. Lee of the stadium just behind him. Underspin there from under the table, and then the short side again highlights Adriana DIAZ, the Shushin of this generation.
5-3.
Pendulum serve, a lot of side spin. Looks like there might be some under, so KUAI Man opens up just a bit to keep it out of the net. Well, it comes up a little bit high, still well protected.
5-4.
This is what the half-long serve is all about. Get a player to play a push from near the baseline, but Adriana DIAZ plays it very well deep to the backhand corner.
Oh, 2 back-to-back.
Right. I will say that the venue, Las Vegas, is fast in general because of the high altitude. The table's very fast, so these balls tend to carry long.
Some great pressure from KUAI Man. Great rally.
Yeah, she was put under pressure early and turned it around quickly. Danielle Gonzalez and Mary Angeli, the mother and agent, or at least manager, let's say, of Adriana DIAZ. One of the closest families I've ever met. And this is a more traditional backhand. She invests in spin on this for security. The short side of the table, less margin for error here, so watch her dip the racket head. Very wristy shot. Beautiful backhand that we don't see so often from Adriana.
Some really decent serving from the Chinese world number 5.
Yeah, KUAI Man's pinning that backhand with that bottle challenge serve, down the line, deep to the backhand. Very little telegraphing as to where she's going to go when she goes parallel. KUAI Man, watch again in this replay. Short stroke, quick to the corner. You want to see it come down because Adriana can survive longer than most behind the table. I'd have to imagine at some point during this match we get ourselves a lobbing rally, but Adriana's going to do everything she can to stay close.
Just as you say that, she's pushed a bit further back there for game points then for KUAI Man, and she worked her way through those last few points quickly, didn't she, from 6-all.
Eleven points
to 6, a really solid opening game from KUAI Man. Valiant effort from Adriana DIAZ, keeping pace up until the midway point. KUAI Man looking pretty dangerous in those closing stages.
Yeah, you could see that flatter attempt there. When you're near the table, the ball's a little bit higher, a flat shot much more likely to come down. But the spin game favors KUAI Man as she wins the last 5 points straight. Cho Yi-ke conversation time, and game 2 with Adriana DIAZ and KUAI Man coming up.
Well, here's a look at the new rankings just released today. In fact, look at that. KUAI Man number 5. Chinese dominance 1 through to 5. The Japanese, though, hot on their heels. Shin Yu-bin, the sole representative outside of those two countries, the young superstar from the Republic of Korea. What a start. KUAI Man finding that angle.
Yeah, this spin in this rally, it feels like the initiative here, at least the idea would be for Adriana to spin more. And you can see it in every stroke she plays. I think that's part of the reason KUAI Man was so comfortable in that last rally. The top spin is familiar. So why would Adriana do it? Just for a little bit more security that the shot comes down. Oh my goodness, swatted, slapped. DIAZ right there dishes out a dose of disrespect. Look at this on the move. Oh, the opening on the table. A small closing window, and she races through with that highlight backhand.
Two successive decent points for DIAZ. I think KUAI Man was a bit rattled by the one that came before.
Yeah, that's what I call scar power. They're all worth 1 point, but sometimes they make a stain on the brain that lasts a little longer. The chop block handled well here. Not as much spin on this chop block as usual. And Adriana says, okay, stay forward, don't get passive. That was the body language, at least as I could read it. In these rallies closer to the table, Adriana DIAZ has quite a good amount of power. See it there, getting the body in, pushing off the right foot, twisting quickly at the waist for that extra bit of racket speed.
Amazing work from KUAI Man, but DIAZ covering the area so well behind the back of the table there.
Yeah, she's wonderful behind the table. And I will say that here again, the ball flies. It's frustrating for anyone who can lob. There it is. Tomahawk chop block sets up the smash. And man, did she bring the smash on that one. Untouchable. Watch the side spin on this. It sits up a bit, but it's deep and it's to the backhand. And how much of what is on it? Well, it's going to be up to KUAI Man to figure out.
Let 4-all.
And she figures it out here in terms of the brushing, bending backhand. Side spin can be very useful from time to time, but tougher to play in some of these fast rallies. Adriana DIAZ has done well, but KUAI Man sees through.
6-4.
That's perfect closure of the racket with heavy topspin coming in, making the crowd happy here. It's video, not a picture, by the way. Good times. What if it actually was a picture?
I think I saw a slight bit of movement.
Oh, okay, okay. Some breathing going on and whatnot. KUAI Man, a little bit of breathing room here herself, 1 point in front.
6-4.
Not for long, though.
Please, no flashes.
It's a perfect read of a very, very dead serve, meaning little to no spin. Adriana DIAZ comes in very flatly behind the ball to not pop it up.
6-7.
Oh, DIAZ frustrated with herself there. Do you think she's being a bit hard on herself?
I hesitate to criticize. I can understand her emotions right now. Every point matters. And look at this exchange. From down low, you get the battlefield view of how fast these shots are coming in and the coverage. Adriana, before the foot's planted both times, covers the backhand well, using the length of the table. This pattern has worked very well. KUAI, when she gets topspin, after serving long to the backhand, if she ever gets Adriana DIAZ to spin to the forehand, she's very comfortable, it seems, closing the racket, countering right back on the length of the table.
7-9.
Well, is this the point at which KUAI begins to pull away?
Yeah, the end of the game, it was 6-6 last game before becoming 6-11 favoring KUAI. Big serves here for Adriana. Ooh.
7-9.
She could challenge that, I think. And if I were her, I would. You can TTR that. Very well worth it. When have you seen a player run out of TTRs? Not yet. They're gonna learn this. Ricardo Walters started a trend. Yes!
Challenge.
Good
by
for Adriana DIAZ. I just want to
for
see players exercising their right to
Dinner.
challenge, regardless of who it is. It's new to the game. It's something that players are going to learn. Like basketball's become a game of three-pointers. There's just no reason to not use your TTRs, especially in a moment like this. What's the risk? You lose one unsuccessful call, okay. Doesn't cost you a point. So they're going to send it down to the TTR, the Table Tennis Review Lab, and they'll come back to see if it actually touched the net. Because if not, let's look again. If not, it's Adriana DIAZ's point. Didn't look like it to me. Service legal, that's Adriana DIAZ's point, and good for her for exercising it.
8-9.
So she retains her 2 unsuccessful calls. She can call an infinite amount of Table Tennis Review, but only 2 can be unsuccessful. Then she's out. And by out, I mean out of challenges, of course, but quick recovery here from KUAI to earn herself game point for a 2-0 lead if she can get through. Man, deep on the table. It looked like there wasn't even table left there. I understand those feelings.
The first of 2 game points saved. She's still in this, DIAZ.
We've seen how strong KUAI is at the business end. A finish, a strong finish, better than a strong start, but of course, if you can get both, might as well. Second game point, KUAI.
Please, no flashes. 10-9.
DIAZ into the net. It's 2-0 to KUAI, but a much stronger game number 2 for Adriana DIAZ that was not without its drama. But KUAI now 1 game away from a place in the round of 16. Strong performance, and like you said, Adam, it's the way she rounds out these games.
Yeah, KUAI doing well in the end. We'll see what happens. It's Adriana DIAZ with the steep incline here. Must win for every game for the rest of this match.
Well, here's a look then at the top ranking movers in the women's singles. KUAI, she's up there. She has had a fantastic 12 months. She is now world number 5, jumping 34 places in the last year. That is quite some achievement. Well done indeed to KUAI, the second highest mover after Chen Yi of China, the second highest mover in China, that is. Well, let's cross over to table number 2. This is Benedict Duda with a straight games win over Huan Bei of Australia. In strong form there. You'll see him in the round of 16, so well done indeed to him. But back to the women's singles. KUAI now. 2 games to the good against Adriana
Fair
Diaz.
games.
What can she
Quite
produce in
fair.
this must-win game number 3?
Love all.
Heavy spin on the parallel, a deep drive. Talked about KUAI Man's coach. So far this match, we haven't talked about Bloody Diaz, Adriana's coach and father. A lot of experience in the game and in the corner for Adriana Diaz. Bloody, a father of 4 professional table tennis players.
Great rally, great pressure from Adriana Diaz. She just wasn't giving up in that one.
Yeah, quite a start here in what is a must-win.
Love 4.
It was amazing shot placement, wasn't it?
I was thinking 2 things. One, when I say professional players, I mean players who've represented Puerto Rico internationally before. And 2, as Mary Angeli there on the right, Adriana's mom watches on. If someone was really desperate for a point and they missed a receive, I feel like a high percentage of the time they could challenge for a serve toss going behind the head and they would win, especially in a righty-lefty battle.
Let. Please, no flashes.
We understand the excitement with the celebrities here, the stars.
1-4. 4-2.
So the first towel break here, KUAI Man acknowledging a little bit of fortune, but taking a gutsy shot to go into the backhand corner, leaving the whole table open. If that's blocked back to the forehand, no chance for recovery. But it paid off.
Diaz with some real power behind those shots, but the defense of KUAI Man was just so solid.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about KUAI Man in this point is the way she makes her way back into the table while playing these shots. She's accomplishing doubly effective movements there.
Ella va a poner la raqueta y le vas a atacar paralelo después. Ahí no 5-3. No creo que haga banana. No la ha hecho. ¿Te atreves? Hay que atreverse, hay que hacer o haz algo diferente. También, tú empezaste el partido sacando uno largo a su derecha que se le quedó en la malla. También puede ser, pero ese es riesgoso. Largo a la derecha puede ser un balazo para ti. Por eso yo te digo, si hacemos un cambio, puede venir un cambio total. Y se pondría el juego 4-4 en todo caso que no hagamos el punto, que tampoco es una cosa del otro mundo. Y estamos haciendo más puntos con la recepción, dejando la bola corta aquí, empuja para allá. ¿Sabes? No veo que sea un inconveniente, a menos que lo quieras hacer para la derecha. Pero creo que tiene que haber una postura diferente en tu parte ahora.
Yo estoy intentando.
Pues si te estoy diciendo que estamos jugando bien. Si, no quieres, si te quieres quedar por aquí, quédate por aquí.
So the little that I caught from that, in general, play the parallels, go straight, mix it up, go to her forehand, keep constantly changing it. So we'll see. She'll throw caution to the wind, take some chances here, try mixing it up. Still a 1-point lead out of her timeout, Adriana Diaz. And a backhand serve. First time I recall seeing one this match, and it's an outright service point.
That is doing something different. KUAI Man with a response, some decent serving of her own.
Yeah, her serves have been very effective, well practiced, well placed, deep to the backhand or half long cross court in the 2 main serves. Ooh, the side spin, the jump on this as Adriana Diaz recovers a net ball. Watch the finesse, the feeling. Ready for the chop block? Nope. Just residual side spin as she guides it forward and it jumps, kicks out wide.
6-5.
The idea is right, the setup is good. KUAI Man surviving there. So very light spin tomahawk serve. And then KUAI Man with a push, a little bit more underspin on it than appeared maybe. I like this fight.
5-7.
Adriana DIAZ knows that even when she's behind the table, she has to counter, stay aggressive where she can. Again, she can lob for days. Although here, a lot of lobs will carry long. So she's spinning, she's fighting.
Fight from KUAI, though. You look like you're clenching your teeth there.
Yeah, the ball hit the net on the way over. Adriana with a good recovery. Then the flat hits again, higher risk, more laser-like, less dip on him, that swatting forehand. She knows she had a decent opportunity, but she makes a lot of those low percentage shots. An extra spin, well placed, challenging and baiting the step around. KUAI in this situation with the arc on this ball, loves to turn. She's done well from the forehand corner, countering that cross court, but here the short side just too short. Second backhand outright service point. For me at this point, until the opponent proves that she has a good response to this serve, keep doing it. Subtle variations.
Left. 9-6.
So a service warning from the assistant umpire. Toss must be higher. Oh, the lob was perfect. It was right at the baseline. That puts so much pressure on KUAI, and somehow she's able to drive it from what feels like about 6 feet behind the table. Watch this next one. As deep and spinny as can be, she's way back. And Adriana tries to play the safe counter forehand. It's okay. Stay calm. 14 shots well played. Between the two of them, anyway. She's going to stay on the lob for a while. Comfortable from back. Oh, the rally of the match so far, and once again, KUAI handles pressure no matter what form it comes back in. Counterattacks from the forehand. You had to wonder, 21 shots, when was Adriana, if ever, going to attack? And then she made the first 2, but KUAI consistent. Oh, Tim, I feel you. Al, Dennis, the whole gang. If you're rooting for Adriana right now, your heart must be in your stomach somewhere. KUAI is dangerous, and she's strong in the end game.
How about that? 2 game points. Adriana DIAZ with the game of her life in game number 3 when she needed it the most. 2 amazing rallies that went the way of KUAI. It would be understandable if DIAZ was feeling deflated, but she takes that point crucially to earn herself these 2 game points. These are big moments.
Ooh, surprise, surprise. Table still there once again for the second time this match. It just appears that the table has extended itself. Second game point. Adriana, some deep thinking here from KUAI on receive against game point.
Points tonight. Adriana DIAZ under pressure takes us to game number 4. Holding her nerve with incredible resolve there, but those 2 rallies to finish off that game, that was jaw-dropping stuff. But what a response from Adriana DIAZ.
Yeah, fast long serve to the forehand to risk, then switch it up, go the other way. The timeout has been cashed in. Conversation time and back for game 4.
Combinada con la larga al cuerpo. No hay que hacer mucho más. Entonces, cuando tú te viras.
Well, we can have another look then at the rally of the match so far. This followed on from another incredible rally. We didn't think that one could be bettered, but this one, 21 points long. '21
shots in this point. An incredible rally. Adriana with 2 counterattacks and the heavy spin. KUAI able to make that bottom drop out. The safe spin, it's a fine balance of drive, forward motion, and brush to create that top spin. So it seemed like the conversation with Bloody was about the short serves to the forehand.
DIAZ to serve. Love all.
How to receive that, at least from the little that I heard. Back to the backhand serve that's been quite effective.
Love 1.
I was just wondering when the lollipop would come out. Not so many players doing this serve anymore. Some choppers from Ukraine, of course, Alexis Lebrun. But Adriana DIAZ has a long menu of serves to choose from.
2-1.
Shots in general, the versatility and unpredictability that you talked about, Bex, before the match. Adriana's digging deep in the pockets just for something to mix it up to get KUAI out of her comfort zone. Second time she sets up for that tomahawk chop block. Some side spin, some underspin, just to throw a wrench into the rhythm. Break the flow on the other side.
Is this where you do go for the crazy shots, really pull out all the stops, or do you play it safe, be conservative, and go for the stuff you really think is going to work?
It's a fine balance, and it depends on any given moment. I think it's a bit of the two. It's a fine combination. What's the craziest, most uncomfortable thing you can do with confidence? What do you think will be effective against your opponent? And if it's a standard game, then move away from it. Get creative. Adriana DIAZ, no shortage of creativity. Back edge of the table here for KUAI in another extended rally. In Singapore, KUAI showed incredible resilience against Chun Shing Tong. Mental maturity, how to play with your back against the ropes. Again, I think we have a bright shining star for China for years and years to come. We have to remember, Adriana DIAZ has beaten Wang Manyu. Yeah, it was a best of 2. 2 games to 0. Ooh! Little fortune here as it climbs the net, comes down on the other side at a very sharp angle out of reach. Wow. Little peek at the camera. Jump scare for those of you enjoying the net angle.
Some really impressive work there from KUAI. We talked about the versatility of DIAZ, but a couple of really lovely shots in there, weren't there?
Yeah, she adapted very well, read the spin perfectly. You can't imagine there's much practice against shots like this in the training hall before this match.
7-4.
Extra spin, a little bit more shallow, forcing KUAI to move in and try to close the racket on top of this bounce. Keep your eyes on where this bounces. Okay, a little bit deeper than memory, but more spin here. Now a timeout on KUAI's side. Coco Chanel, Cho Yi-ke himself. A little conversation, some replanning here for a tighter match.
Well, on the face of it, KUAI has a comfortable enough lead, 3 points up and 2 games to 1 up as well. Is that an interesting time to call the timeout, do you think?
It's a conservative time. It is a luxurious timeout in the sense that you'd love to be able to call a timeout when you still have a 3-point lead. It's a common timeout for Team China. This is closer than anyone should be.
And that's exactly what she wanted coming out of the timeout.
Yes, so far no timeout in this match has been used without being cashed in. Spin, she says, okay. Given the De Niro lip. Now this was interesting because KUAI Mon's push was relatively heavy, but it was mostly just because Adriana had to step around. Went for the drive a little bit more. Oh, short side, the wrong side of the table, rather, her own side. From the start of this match, I mentioned early on, we'd love to get some points with Adriana lobbing. While it might not be the best tactic necessarily, we've had our share, and it sets up 6 match points for KUAI Mon.
11-4.
Well, she only needed the one. That was a comprehensive 4th game for KUAI Mon, taking 11 points to 4. That was certainly an entertaining match, wasn't it? Plenty to pick out for the highlights. Credit, though, to KUAI Mon on her 3 games to 1 win. She will be in the round of 16. She'll meet Chen Yiqing, the number 11 seed there. Great match, though. And credit to Adriana DIAZ as well for battling performance indeed, especially game number 3, taking that one 11 points to 9.
Yeah, we had our fair share of exciting moments throughout this. It's a constant puzzle to be solved. How to, well, unravel your opponent. KUAI Mon figuring that out more times than Adriana DIAZ in this match. It will be a continuing battle between these two, a rivalry that we can expect to see. While Adriana DIAZ has played the Chinese Super League, KUAI Mon as well finds the middle in the end. And after the timeout, not a point dropped, much like being at 6-6 in game number 1. From 7-4, she wins the next 4 points to close out the match. And boy, did the timeout pay off. The world number 5 thriving here, 42 points to 30 after 32 minutes of play. In this battle, the serves, quite a success story there anyway, comparatively. KUAI Mon with about more than 16% more than Adriana DIAZ in terms of what worked for her, and it set her up well to close out the match against a player who's not too long ago number 9 in the world. So a good win for KUAI Mon.
Next up then, it's mixed doubles. This is the final match to come of this morning's session. The Romanian pair, Eduardinescu and Bernadette Such, taking on Guilherme Teodoro and Julia Takahashi of Brazil, the number 8 seeds. Coming up next.